Hello viewers, welcome to educators.com. This is Venkatramana Ganji. In the previous session, we have discussed about Android anatomy or the Android application anatomy. What are the different parts of Android project once you create it? Where we put resources, where we put launcher icons, where we put text files. So what are the individual parts of our application consist of and what type of the files. Now in this session, we'll discuss about activity lifecycle. Already in the previous sessions, we have discussed what is an activity and the examples of an activity. So if you have any doubt, just go through activities. And now let us see what is the structure of your activity, how does it will be there in your Android, and how the life cycles will be maintained, like what are the different callbacks of Android activity. So here we will cover what are the different states of an activity, what are the different callbacks of an activity and life cycle phases. So implementing those life cycle callback methods through a simple example, and we'll see how to create multiple activities in an Android project. Now let us see what is an activity. We already know. So a single screen with user interface is called as an activity. So each one of these activity is implemented as a subclass of your base class activity, and it may consist, an application may consist either one activity or maybe any number of activities. Okay, there will be at least one activity. So though there are many number of applications, n number of activities in the application, one will be considered as main activity, which is going to be launched when you run your application. So one activity can start another activity to perform some action, like, so in your Gmail application, when you go to your list of mails, okay, that is one activity. When you select a particular mail in that activity, in this activity, it will go to the detailed email activity. So where you can read your content and respond to the corresponding email. And activity will work in a LIFO mechanism, basically last in first out. Okay, last in first out mechanism. So if you have any idea on data structures, you maybe recall this. If you observe here in the diagram, so initially it is like an empty stack. So the first one, so when you launch your application, that will be activity one, will place at the bottom like a first one. So whenever you open a new activity, it will come upon this. Means this activity one will go to the background, and the current activity, which is activity two, will come to the foreground and visible to the user. So like this, if you have any number of activities, like activity 3 comes, here it will be placed, and the second will go to the backstack, and only the current activity 3 will be visible to the user. So same way, reverse. So if you want to go out, so then whichever comes last will go out first. That is what we call last in, first out. Who comes last will move first out. So here the second activity, assume second activity is the last activity, and if this is going to be the first output, okay, means it is going to the out first, then activity 2 will come. And if assume like this, if you have 8 activities or 10 activities in your application, that if you assume that you are at the fifth activity, so the remaining 4 activities you so came across through now, so will be in the backstack, and activity 5 will be in the foreground where the user can interacting over there. So on, as I hope everyone nowadays using the smartphones, when you click on the back button, so or maybe the back on, when you touch on the back icon on your screen, so it will go to the next previous activity. So that will be the launch uh, active now, visible to the user, then the remaining 2 or 3 will be in the backstack. So that is called the stack mechanism, where it works in last in first out. So whatever comes last will go out first. So what are the different states of an activity? So there are three states of an activity, like running or maybe resume, pause, stop. So just like, so life cycle means every even common human being or maybe any objects, the living object have different states. So like if you take human beings, we have so childhood, and engage or old is something like that. Assume for namesake I'm taking this. So means we have different things to do at these different states of our life. So we'll enjoy a lot in our childhood. So and then when you come to the middle age or maybe young age, you'll so concentrate on your career and you do something. In the middle age, you get married or something, and later in the old age, you'll relax. So the same way here, there are different states of this activity will perform different kind of actions. Now let us see what are these states and what are the callbacks method for these three different states. Now let us see resume. So as everyone listen to the music nowadays, what mean by resume? So usually the activity is in the foreground and the screen has a user focus. So that is resume or running state we call it's still running. So the movie is running or maybe the train is running, it's still moving. So paused state, in this state an activity has lost focus but still is visible to the user. So the best example for this, as if you are using the prepaid mobile, so once after your call, if you make any call, once you hang up your phone, immediately it will display with your call cost, call duration, and remaining balance or some offers like a small window will come. In the background, even you can see the screen, but you cannot interact over there. So that is called, so in this paused state, the activity has lost its focus, but still it is visible to the user. And the paused activity is completely alive, but it can be killed when the system is in extremely low memory situation. So means it is still alive. So if the another application or maybe the system or the process requires so the memory, then it will be killed and stopped. So means the activity is completely obscured by another activity. So at that point of time, we call that is in a stopped state. Now let us see, out of these three states, we have different callback methods in our Android activity. Now let us see what are the different callback methods of an activity and how do we implement and when does they will be called. So we have around, so we should not give the number basically, just to understand I'm giving. So we have around 7 callback methods to notify different so actions or different tasks as part of the life cycle of an activity. So they are as follows like on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy, on restart. So already I told you in the previous session saying that the name itself will give you the definition or maybe what it is about. On create. So this method is going to be called whenever you create the activity for the first time. And the next one on start. So starting, it is going to start something. Now let us see. So this will be called when an activity becomes visible to the user. So user can see, but he cannot interact at that point of time. And on resume, so just now I told you running state or resume state. So where the user will interact, they has the focus. So this will be called when an activity starts interacting with the user interface. And on pause, this will be called when the current activity is being paused and the previous activity will come to the foreground or maybe it will be resumed. So the best example is always like, so while you are listening to the music, all of a sudden if you get a call, what will be happen? This music player will be paused and the call phone dialer will be connected. So at that point of time, music player activity is in the backstack. It went to the background. Then immediately after you hang up the call, so the current activity means the phone dialer will go to the background. The previous activity, which is music player activity, will come to the foreground. So this will be called as an on pause, and on stop will be called when the activity is no longer visible to the user. User cannot see anything of your activity. And on destroy will be called before the activity is destroyed by the system, either manually or by the system to conserve some memory. Just now I told you in low memory situation, the system itself will kill activity at that point of time. On destroy will be called. On restart will be called when an activity has been stopped and it is trying to restart again. We use on restart method. This will be happen between your on start and on stop. So these are the different callback methods of an activity lifecycle. So will be called at corresponding times. So remember, on create will be called when you create, on start when it is visible, on resume when you are interacting, on pause so when a new activity comes to the foreground, and on stop this there is no it is not going to be visible. On destroy, it's completely obscured by the system. On restart will call between on start and on stop. So now let us see how does it looks like an entire activity life cycle in a diagram. So this is the common question usually asked by the interviewers. Explain activity life cycle through a diagram. So you must be careful. So you should remember all these options and how does it look like. So when an activity launched, so immediately it will call on create method. So immediate after that, it is going to be visible to the user. So on start will be called, and when immediately a user can interact over there, so then it will be on resume. So assume that you are trying to log into Gmail. So when you click on a Gmail application, immediately it will call on create, and user is able to see that is where it will call on start, and the user can enter his username and password. So on resume will also be called. At this point of time, activity is running. So another activity may come into the foreground, then what will be happen immediately? It will go to the on pause. So means the new activity comes to the foreground, the current activity went to the background. So then it will call on pause. So here again two possibilities. One, the user can simply return back to the activity, then immediately it will call on resume method. So there is another situation like, so the app may be higher priority in the memory needing. So at that point of time, what will be happen? This app process will be killed by the system, and again it will navigate back to the activity. So it will again start from on create. So assume it is on resume, then go to on pause. Then at this point of time, the activity is no longer visible to the user. So then immediately it will call on stop method. And again here we have two options like on stop. It can be restart. Okay. So user navigates to the activity by calling on restart method. Again, it will visible to the user. So on start method will be called, and again the same procedure. But if app is required high memory, so then immediately the process will be killed. It will start from the scratch, like from on create. So the activity is completely finished or being destroyed by the system, then it will call on destroy method, and activity is going to be shut down. So it is not no longer visible to the user, and you cannot do anything with that particular activity. So this is how all of our activity lifecycle methods will be called one after other, and these are all correlated with each other. So now let us see activity lifetime. So just now we have seen the different callback methods, right? But when these callback methods will arise in different parts of an activity, so here we so differentiated that into three phases. So that is entire lifetime, visibility lifetime, foreground lifetime. So entire lifetime means simple, right? Start to means birth to death. The same way here, what is it? When it will going to be create? At on create. So the entire lifetime of an activity happens between your on create and on destroy method. The visibility where the user can see and he cannot see. So we already know. So at on start, the user is going to see something. So it will happen between your on start and on stop visibility lifetime. So and the foreground lifetime means where the user can interact and he can resume and roll back and all these things. He can pause, he can play back, all will happen between your on resume and on pause method. So like this, each and every of our activity callback method has been differentiated into three phases. So entire lifetime, visibility lifetime, and foreground lifetime. Now let us see how to implement these callback methods. So for that I am going to create a new project. In the previous sessions I have already explained how to create an Android project. So go to file, click on new, create new project. So give the name as activity lifecycle. The domain is educators.com. So check your project location as well. Click on next and choose your form factor as phone and tablet. Give your min SDK level. Click on next. Choose your template. You can go with either basic activity or maybe empty activity. So I'm just simply going with an empty activity. Click on next. and the activity name. Just now I told you, though there are any number of activities, one will be main activity. So even if you want, you can change this as life cycle activity, whatever. I'm not changing it all. Just keep it like that. Click on finish button. The project has been created. So as I told, every activity is a subclass of base class activity. So here if you observe, this is showing that app compat activity. So just to support lower versions also, they are extending app compat activity. If you want to see how does it looks like, press control, click on this particular activity name. You can see here, so it extends your fragment activity. This is how you can see the entire file. So what are the different methods you are, what is happening in the background. So how does it will set all of your methods also. You can research on this. You can see this is for your support activities and all. Now on create has been defaultly mentioned. So because when you create your activity for the first time, on create will be called. So everywhere it is calling your superclass on create method, means superclass method basically. So which is here super dot on create. So this set content view method will set the content for the view. So view is nothing but our layout. So that will be set to the set content view method. Now I would like to add the remaining methods as well. So the next one is on start. So just override all of them. And the next one on resume. On pause method, next one. So next on stop. So you can call in the middle on restart, or you can call it at the last also. And on destroy. So here it is. So let me check. On create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on restart, and on destroy. All the methods has been implemented, but how can I check whether so does this particular method is calling or not? So to see the output of all of your logs, we use log, which is util package. So log API. So let's create a constant, or simply directly you can call your log here, where we can see that at the Android monitor. So where you have ADB will show all of your logcat files. So when you run your application, so either on a real device or maybe an emulator, you can see the status over here. Now just create a log for that. So there are multiple possibilities for that, like log.d, log.e, log.i, log.v, and all. So log.d stands for debug, E stands for error, W stands for warning, I stands for information, so V stands for verbose. So these all will see to just check how does an output look, whether this particular method has been called or not. So in real life, when you are about to publish your application, you must remove all these logs. Now I would like to put like log.information or maybe log.w or whatever it is. I'm taking log.i, so which will take two parameters. One is tag, another one is message. Tag is going to describe what exactly it is. So now I will say activity lifecycle, or educators I will say. The tag I am giving as educators to understand easily. So just something like giving a so ID cards at your office or maybe college. So to identify whether you are belongs to this particular college or not, something like that. Or maybe if you are attending any event, they'll give you some card. So this is your tag and the message. So those are both are strings only. So you must write that in your double quotation marks. So give like simply it is in on create. Okay, and with semicolon, do the same thing for remaining as well. Go to on start, call your log, or else you can create a constant, so value also constant, create a constant variable and do it. So string, so the tag is educators. You can take this, it's a label to display, that's it. And with semicolon, I'm just copying this for my future use. It is in what? On start, or you can say it is in on start method, whatever it is, that is up to you. So whether you go to on resume now, so simply I'll say it is in on resume method, and go to on false, so it is in on false method. Go to on stop method, and see, every method is implemented with superclass method, so that must be, if you don't do this, it will throw an error. It is in on stop method, and the last two methods are available for us. On restart, simply say it is in restart method or on restart method, whatever you can call. Just to check in the log whether this particular method has been called or not. So save this. So this is simple. Now let us run this application on our Android emulator. So I'm ready with my emulator named as Educators. So if you want to know how to create an Android virtual device, so go through my previous channels. So simply go to the menu bar, click on Run button. So it will show you the available connected devices. So the device is like Educators. So click on OK button, it will display. So if you see at the bottom, the Gradle build running. This is your Android log monitor. So the application has been launched here. It is displaying hello world. See here, Educators. It is on create. So when it has been called for the first time, next it is visible to the user. So it has been called. So it is in on start, and the user can interact here. So it is showing. So it is in on resume. So now let us see. So how to call on pause. Now simply click on home button from the emulator options. So it will not going to visible to the user. So the first it will go to on pause, and next it, as it is not visible, it will call on stop. But it has not been destroyed, so it won't call any other methods apart from this. Now let us see. So immediately if you observe here, it is in on pause because so it completely closed, and as it is not visible to the user, it is saying that on stop method. Now again go back and click on this. Immediately it will start, it will restart your application, sorry, activity, and so as it is visible, it will show you on resume, okay, on start and on resume. So go to this. So here it is my activity life cycle. Click on this on restart. So and on start because it is visible, on resume because the user can interact here. Now click on back button, or you just close this application. Immediately it will call on pause, on stop, and on destroy. So on pause because it is not visible. Sorry, it has been completely out of that, and on stop because it is not visible. On destroy, it's completely killed. So now just click on back button, observe here, on stop and on destroy. Okay, So this is how we'll implement all of your application callback methods. See here, on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on restart, on destroy. All the method has been covered here. So this is how we'll work with activity lifecycle and how to implement those methods. The next one is how to create multiple activities. So if you want to create one more activity, when you are creating your application, so defaultly we created main activity. So if you want to create one more activity, you simply go to Java folder and right click on your package. So go to new. Here you'll find Java class. So if you click on Java class, where you can create only the Java class. If you really want to create an activity with the corresponding layout file as well, means UI file as well, go to the bottom activity. You can check here. Android gallery activity, TV activity, basic activity, empty activity. Like this, you'll find all of your templates. So click on empty activity. So here one more window will be open to configure the activity. So it will say, you can say either main to activity or second activity or my activity, whatever you call. Just simply change my activity. So corresponding layout name is also done, and the package name com.educators.activity lifecycle. So this is called as an application ID. This must be unique throughout your application. Simply click on finish button. So it will start your activity as well as your layout file both. See my activity and the corresponding layout. Go to resources, layout, and activity underscore my. So here it is, your layout file and the corresponding activity. Both has been created. So thanks for watching educators.com. Let's catch up in the next session.